If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, the July numbers are telling us something pretty interesting. Buyers have more choices. Fewer homes are selling, buyer activity has slowed, but home prices, they're still going up. So what exactly is happening? Across the entire Sunflower MLS territory, 324 homes sold in July. That's down just over 8% from last year. Meanwhile, there were 615 homes actively for sale, nearly 20% more than a year ago. And here's the number I'm really watching. Only 299 contracts were written in July. That's almost 22% fewer than last July. Pending contracts were also down 17%. So we've got more homes competing for buyers and fewer buyers putting homes under contract. But here's where it gets interesting. The average sale price was $251,000, up 5.1%, and the median sale price was $224,000, up 6.5%. More inventory, fewer sales, less contract activity, but higher prices. That's not necessarily a contradiction. It tells me we're dealing with a market that's becoming more selective. And what that means depends heavily on which side of the transaction you're on. So what does this market mean if you're thinking about selling your home? For starters, you've got more competition. There were 650 homes actively listed across the Sunflower MLS territory in July. That's nearly 20% more inventory than we had last year. And buyers aren't moving quite as quickly overall. Homes average 24 days on the market, compared with 21 days last July. Sellers also received an average of 96.4% of their original asking price. So what's the takeaway? Pricing and presentation matter. Probably more today than they did when buyers had fewer choices. But don't mistake a more selective market for a bad market. The median home price sold in just 6 days and received 99.2% of its original asking price. That's telling us something too. Homes that buyers want, that are positioned properly, and can still move very quickly. So if you're selling today, I wouldn't focus on what homes were doing 2 or 3 years ago. I'd focus on the homes you're competing against right now, because buyers have choices. And first impressions, condition, and pricing are going to determine whether your home becomes one of those choices or one they scroll right past. Now, let's flip this around. What does July's market mean if you're thinking about buying? For the first time in a while, buyers are starting to get something they've been asking for: more choices. Active inventory is up nearly 20% from last year, and month supply increased from 1.7 months to 2 months. So in plain English, there are simply more homes available for you to consider. And with contracts written down almost 22%, you may find more negotiating room on some of these properties. You may even have a little more time to make a decision. But here's where I'd be careful. More inventory does not mean every seller is suddenly desperate to make a deal. The median home sold in only 6 days, and home prices aren't falling either. The average sale price increased 5.1% from last year, while the median increased 6.5%. So buyers have more leverage in certain situations, but desirable homes can still attract attention quickly. That's why I wouldn't automatically assume you should wait, and I wouldn't automatically tell you that you need to rush. It depends on the property, the price range, the community, and what you're trying to accomplish. And that's probably the biggest takeaway from July. I wouldn't tell every homeowner it's a great time to sell. And I wouldn't tell every buyer it's a great time to buy. That's too simple. These numbers cover the entire Sunflower MLS territory, your neighborhood, your price range, and even the particular house you're considering can tell a very different story. You can find real estate statistics almost anywhere today. The numbers aren't the hard part. Understanding what these numbers mean for your situation, that's where having a knowledgeable real estate professional in your corner matters. I'm Toby Gallegos, Top City Broker, powered by Prime Realty.